We have to be individuals who are change ready, who are willing to allow people to give us constructive criticism. It may be challenging, but it's coming to make us grow.
I know you won't leave me lonely, never.
What's going on, my dear soul family? It's Dallas here. Welcome back to the channel. Glad you could tap in with us for another video. Listen, today's topic is constructive criticism, and we're gonna jump right into it. So by definition, constructive criticism is simply, someone sharing suggestions or actionable items for the purpose of making something better or to build up, right? So I know we live in a world where, it's a hypersensitive society that we're in. Sharing something opposing, or should I say opposite of what someone is doing or saying, can often be looked at as hate, negative, destructive, even when it's not. It just because of the society, like this is the world we live in and how things are, the temperature of our world, it's just that way. But I want to push back on that a little bit for those who are willing to open up their mind and their heart to hear how important it is for us to have people in our lives that can give us constructive criticism. There are 3 points I want to make today about the importance of us being able to receive constructive criticism. The first point is that we have to be okay with being challenged. What I've learned often in life that is we don't really like to be challenged enough, because it offends us. It can if we're not open to constructive criticism, it can make us feel like we're being looked down on, like someone is thinking that they're better than us. Like it could make us feel like we're peons, however it can make people feel. That's besides the point, because the point I want to make is that being challenged is actually a good thing, and it's either going to sharpen us in what we already know or expand our knowledge. I'll never forget, there's a brother in the faith when I lived in Florida. We were discussing the Bible, and he said something that I had never heard before. I'm like, man, that's not true. He's like, go study it. It's true. I'm like, no, that's not true. And just for the sake of the video, I don't want to get off topic. I went back and I studied. And when I tell you I had been looking at this text all wrong, I had been looking at the text all wrong. Had he not challenged my mindset, I wouldn't have been sharpened. I wouldn't have expanded in knowledge. And because of that, I did. It grew me, right? And that's the point I'm making with this first point. If we're not okay with being challenged, we're gonna stifle our growth in life. We won't be able to grow. We won't be able to expand. We won't be able to see different things and get great exposure, because we're not open to being challenged. All right. The next point is, when it comes to constructive criticism, we have to believe and know that change is good. Now, there's times I've worked for companies. Most of us are working Americans or entrepreneurs or something. They'll come in, they won't ask anybody, and they'll just change a system and say, this system works better. I'm not talking about that kind of change. I'm talking about constructive criticism type of change. Change where people have truly evaluated what you're doing and how it works, and your goals for it and your vision for it all. And they come in with constructive criticism to give you actionable items and suggestions that would help build what you have going. That's the type of good change I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the change that comes from a place of like someone just wanting to demonstrate their power and switching things up and it makes it worse. I'm talking about that intimate change, that constructive criticism from someone who's close to you and can see the potential that you have, can see where you're trying to go, or should I say where you're striving to go, and can see your vision and say, hey, here's some feedback. I believe with this feedback, you'll be able to go from here to here. I believe with this feedback, you'll be able to go from here to here. I believe with this feedback, you'll be able to, just achieve 2 times as much. It's like, it's actionable. You get what I'm saying? But you have to be willing to change, right? The last point I want to make is when it comes to constructive criticism, it doesn't come to throw everything away. It usually comes 9 times out of 10 because someone is able to see what you have and see how it can be better, and they want to give that to you. So they're not coming with that constructive criticism to change, like to throw it all away. But the point I want to make is it's going to keep the main thing, but make that main thing better. I know I said main thing a lot, but it keeps the main thing. That's what constructive criticism does, but it expands it. That's where a good coach comes in. That's where a good friend comes in. That's where a good mentor comes in. That's where good parenting, like when parents are able to, see their children and see what they're good at. And then they begin to put them in positions to get exposure, put them in positions to learn, and put them in positions to expand on their gifts. A good coach comes in, he sees that a player has the ability to do some things that he's never seen them do, but he can see the potential. He can see the strength. He can see the athletic ability. And he says, oh, I'm going to give you this constructive criticism. If you move this man, do this, then you'll be, past your defender and this and this and that. That's how a mentor is able to, I can see myself in you. I see where you are. I started there. I'm going to give you this constructive criticism. It's going to keep the main thing, but it's going to make you better, right? That's the point I want to make today. We have to be individuals who are change ready, who are willing to allow people to give us constructive criticism. It may be challenging, but it's coming to make us grow. It may seem like, oh, if I let you come in and tell me something, it's probably going to take away from keeping the main thing. No, that's not how constructive criticism works. It keeps the main thing, but makes it better. All right. That's really what I want to share with you all on constructive criticism. I even believe that because of the purpose that it serves, we can see how God can even use people to come into our lives to give us constructive criticism. And I'm not just speaking from a faith-based sense. I believe even as Christians, constructive criticism is good. I appreciate my brothers and sisters in the faith who give me constructive criticism. But I am talking about even practically, when we are able to have a heart and a mindset that's available for constructive criticism, it just grows us, And a biblical example is when God had used Moses to bring the children of Israel out of Egypt. And his father-in-law told Moses, hey, you're not going to be able to lead these people this way that long. You're going to die trying to do that. You need to get some order, some structure, put people in position so that all of it's not on you. That's constructive criticism. And that's in the Bible. And of course, there are plenty of practical examples. We hear about NBA stars, just athletic stars, singers, actors who talk about how they connected themselves with a mentor or a coach, and their careers just took off. So it's important for us to just keep a mindset that's open to constructive criticism. All right, as I always say, no matter what has happened in your past, no matter what you're going through right now and may even face in the future, always remember, there's hope.
You better find that rock, stand on it, be strong.